Yo, sup with y'all boys and girls, man. Hey, Jay Briggs here from Pickdawgz.com, bringing y'all my NBA Jam session for December 7th, 2022. If you're looking for more of this great content, man, y'all know what to do. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Drop your like down in the comments as well, man. You know I love going through, seeing who y'all like in the comments. But if you're looking for my best bets, the best that I'm placing tonight, as well as best bets from the top handicappers on the planet, check us out over at Pickdawgz.com. Click the premium picks app, and that's where you'll find best bets from the top handicappers in the world. Link to my $15 NBA Jam Session plays in the description. That's my best bet in the NBA every night. We've hit 3 in a row off of a winner last night, man. We had the Cavs last night, the Mavs the night before, the Kings the night before that, man. We've been red hot on that Jam Session play, and we've been red hot in the NBA overall, man. We swept last night on the Jam Session. We just want to stay that way, man. I told y'all a streak was coming. We're in the middle of it. We want to stay that way, red hot. Follow me on Twitter, Parlay Guy J. That's where I can release the parlay of the day. We didn't release one yesterday. There was only 3 games, not really enough room to release one. Yeah, I could have parlayed all the Jam Session plays yesterday, though, but, you know. So, yeah, follow me, Twitter, Parlay of the day. I can update y'all on any late injury news, and if my mind changes on any of these Jam Session plays that I'm going to give y'all tonight due to late information. Nice size card tonight in the NBA. We want to stay hot, smash it as we always do. Without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get into tonight's NBA action. In our first matchup of the night, man, we got the Los Angeles Clippers on the road facing the Orlando Magic. Clippers road favorites laying 6, total 219.5. For me, I know this is a tougher game for me, one of the tougher ones on the slate tonight. As most Clippers games are, I just don't have a firm grasp on this Clippers team, if I'm going to be honest with y'all. And it's more so to do with the roster chemistry, man. You never know really on a night in, night out basis who's playing, who's not playing, how well they're going to play. It's just tough for me, this Clippers team. Like tonight, it looks like Paul George and Kawhi are both a go in this one, which is kind of weird. They're never both a go this early on the roster on an injury report. But it looks like Luke Kennard is out for this one, John Wall, Norman Powell, Marcus Morris. You know, those are the guys that usually play heavy minutes when those two are not in. So, tough spot for me. I don't necessarily want to lay 6 points with this Clippers team on the road. They haven't really covered here recently. They barely beat Charlotte in their last one, took a Kawhi Leonard game winner. They lost the 2 before that to the Sacramento Kings and the Utah Jazz. On the other side, the Orlando Magic, 5-20 on the season. They haven't been that good, and they've been an overrated dog, meaning like a lot of us, I fell victim to this too. We like taking the Magic, even though they haven't really been all that great. 10-14-1 against the spread is alright, but it's negative, definitely. But in their last one, they covered against the Bucks, 109-102 at home. We know the Magic play their better basketball at home. I think they could probably keep this one pretty competitive here with this Clippers team tonight. Not my favorite game on the board by far. Banchero is playing at a high level right now. The Clippers missing just too many pieces that play heavy minutes. I'm going to lean towards the Magic here, plus the points here in this matchup. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Charlotte Hornets on the road facing the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn home favorites laying 9.5, total 221.5. Got to give credit where credit is due, man. Brooklyn has turned around their season. They're starting to hoop, man. The addition of Jacque Vaughn has been a huge piece for this Brooklyn team. I guess Steve Nash just can't coach. I guess that's just what it was. Brooklyn has won 4 or 5. They did drop their last one to Boston at home, 103-92. But this will be their, 6th straight home game for the Brooklyn Nets. And they also haven't played since Sunday, so 3 days rest, well rested at the crib. I like the spot for the Nets here tonight, and I'll lay the 9.5. And y'all know, typically I'm not on the Nets, and I'm typically not laying double digits, but I just like the spot for them here tonight. Charlotte, they've been at home a lot recently as well. They played 4 of their last 5 at home. The one game on the road that they did have in that 5-game span was against the Boston Celtics. Score was 140-105. I think the Charlotte Hornets are a viable team against the spread at home. I don't trust them at all on the road. I know that they played the Clippers pretty tough in their last one at home. Took Kawhi Leonard to hit a game winner. But that was just more so to do with the Clippers more than the Hornets. I think tonight could get pretty ugly. I like the Nets in this one. I'll lay the double digits here in this matchup. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Atlanta Hawks on the road facing the New York Knicks. Knicks, home favorites, laying 1.5, total 232. We're going to go back to the system here in this one. We're going to fade the Hawks on the road. Y'all know the system means we usually like the Hawks at home. On the road, we look to fade them. We changed up on the system in the last Hawks game. They were at home playing the Thunder, and we took the Thunder plus the points, and the Thunder ended up winning it outright. We're going to go back to it, though, here in this one. We're going to fade the Hawks on the road. We're going to take the New York Knicks. We're going to lay the bucket. Only 1.5, so, we're just going to lay the bucket with the Knicks. And I just think it's the right spot to be. The Atlanta Hawks got some friction going on, like I told you on the last Hawks video, with Trae Young, Coach McMillan. Looks like there's some things going on there. Trae Young still seems to be banged up. We know the history between these two teams. We know Trae Young usually comes into the Garden and goes crazy. I know that. And that's what he did earlier in the year on November 2nd. He went into the Garden and went crazy. The Hawks won that one, 112-99. I think the Knicks get some revenge in this one. I think this one goes the other way. I'll lay the bucket with New York here in this one. New York hasn't been just that awful here recently. They've won 2 of their last 5. This will be their 4th straight home game for the Knicks. They beat Cleveland in their last one, 92-81. It was a really solid win for this Knicks team. I was on the Cavs in that one. The game before that, though, the Mavs took them behind the shed, 121-100. And the game before that, they lost to the Bucks, 109-103. But I think they get a back-to-back win here tonight against this Atlanta Hawks team. They got some outside things going on, some friction going on in their locker room. They're on the road where we like to fade them anyway. The Knicks are at home in a revenge spot. I like the Knicks here. We're only laying a bucket, and I'll lay that here in this matchup tonight. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Los Angeles Lakers on the road facing the Toronto Raptors. Toronto home favorites laying 7.5, total 225.5. For me in this one, we're going to take the Raptors. We'll lay the points. Pure fade of the Lakers. Lakers on a back-to-back after playing Cleveland on the road last night. Now you got to fly to Toronto to play Toronto on the road, where Toronto plays their best basketball. They just lost their last one to Boston in a hard-fought game. I think they come and take some frustration out on this Lakers team. Also, it looks like Anthony Davis is out for this one. He left yesterday's game early with an illness. Weird if you ask me, but hey. So I highly, highly doubt he plays in this one, especially on a back-to-back. LeBron James is not on this injury report, but be wary of him being out as well because this is a back-to-back for this Lakers team. They're old men, and they like to sit on back-to-backs. I don't blame them, but, that's just what happens in the NBA. They're not on their injury report, but I got to try to now guess some of these injuries and when guys sit on these videos due to how the NBA been doing this lately. I know that sucks for y'all. It sucks for me as well, so if I see a spot where I think guys might sit, I'll try to tell y'all, and I think tonight could be a spot like that for LeBron. So be wary, but I'm fading them on the road here tonight. I know they've been playing better basketball recently. That was more so due to Anthony Davis finally no longer looking like street clothes Anthony Davis. But with him not playing tonight, unless Russell Westbrook has a vintage outing and goes for 50, I don't think they keep this one competitive. I think the Raptors are just a much better team, and I think they defend home court. This one could get ugly, kind of like the game last night. The Lakers were in that game for a lot of it, and then it just got ugly there at the end. I think the same might be in order here tonight. Give me the Raptors. I'll lay the points with them here in this matchup. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Washington Wizards on the road facing the Chicago Bulls. Both of these teams, man, I know they probably didn't think they would be in this position coming into the season. I know both of these two teams thought that they were at least compete heavily in the East this season, and they find themselves both negative record looking awful. If I'm just going to be honest, man, both teams have lost 4 of their last 5 matchups. Washington 11-13 negative record. Chicago 9-14 negative record. I don't know. Washington is still without their best player. Bradley Beal will be still out for another week or so. Chicago, they have some things to look forward to, I guess. They still have Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. They could kind of turn their season around. They just got off of a long road trip, man. They played 5 straight road games, and there was pretty tough road games. Their last 4 were Sacramento, Golden State, Phoenix, and Utah, all on the road. It's a tough spot, man. They lost 3 of them. They did win 1 of them. They were beat pretty handedly in 3 of the 4. Here tonight, I'm going to lean Chicago in the smallest leans possible. I just think back home it could be a get-right spot for them. They are the better team tonight, especially with the Wizards without their best player in Bradley Beal. And so, yeah, just the smallest lean to Chicago in this one. I don't really like this game. Two awful teams. Uh, yeah, man. So give me Chicago. I'll lay the points in a lean here in this matchup. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder Buddies on the road facing the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies laying 5.5, total 232.5. This is a tough one, low key, man. Both teams have been playing fairly well here recently. We were on both of them in their last matchup. We had the Thunder Buddies plus the points against the Hawks. They beat them outright. We had the Grizzlies plus the points. We got them early before they listed Ja Morant out. Then they listed him out minutes before tip-off in typical NBA fashion. And but hey, the Grizzlies still won the game outright. No Jaren Jackson, no Ja Morant. They just balled on that Miami team. This one's a tougher one for me. I am going to lean towards the Road Warriors, man, the cover buddies, plus the points here in this one. They've been playing some fairly good basketball here recently. They won their last 3 matchups straight up. Typically with me, when the Thunder Buddies get on a roll, I like to just roll with them, keep rolling with them until they fall off, because when they fall off, then you typically just fade them until they get hot again. That's how the Thunder Buddies are, man. They're hot right now, so I'm going to stay on them. In their last 3 matchups, man, like I said, they beat Atlanta on the road straight up. They beat Minnesota on the road straight up. They beat San Antonio at home. They kept it competitive against New Orleans on the road, 105-101. And they lost to Houston in their last 5, 118-105 on the road. So their last 4, they've covered straight up in their last 4. We go look at Memphis, man. Like I said, Memphis has been hot, man. They've won 4 of their last 5. Playing some really good basketball. We know Memphis goes crazy at home. That's why it's a tough spot for me, but I think the Thunder Buddies can still come in here, keep this one pretty close and competitive. I love the way they're playing right now. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is definitely an all-star, and he's trying to make a case to be an all-star starter. The way he has OKC competing right now, I don't think he gets to a starter, but he definitely will be an all-star this season for the Thunder. I'm interested in this matchup between him and Ja Morant. It's going to be one of the more entertaining matchups on the night. I think the Grizzlies probably do win it. I think the Thunder Buddies can definitely keep it close. They've been playing great basketball here recently, and I think they can continue to do that. Give me the Thunder plus the points here in this matchup. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got a really good one in my opinion. We got the Sacramento Kings on the road facing the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee home favorites laying 6.5, total 234.5. Both of these teams, man, have been hooping here recently. Especially Milwaukee, man, trying to keep pace with the Boston Celtics. 17-6 on the season. They've won 4 of their last 5. Middleton has come back and looked fairly decent. He still has to get back into that all-star form, but I think he'll get there for sure. And this Bucks team is going to be really dangerous, man. Like I said, they've won 4 of their last 5. Although I'm not really impressed with their competition in that span. Their last 2 on the road were Orlando and Charlotte. They were on the road, but, 2 doormats of the NBA. They lost to the Lakers at home in a game that they should win. The Lakers have been playing better. Anthony Davis had a huge game in that one, but I think the Bucks should have won that one. They beat the Knicks on the road, 109-103, and they beat Dallas at home, 124-115. The Lakers and Dallas have started to come on, but the other 3, I mean, you should do that to those teams. We go look at Sacramento. Sacramento has won 3 of their last 5. They won their last 3, though. They won 3 straight, and they've won all 3 pretty convincingly as well. They beat Chicago at home, 110-101. They beat the Clippers on the road. They took them behind the shed, 123-96. And they beat up on Indiana at home as well, 137-114. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a really good game here tonight. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab the points with the Kings, the 6.5. I think we're in for a really good one. I think that the Bucks probably do, in the end, win the ball game, but I think the Kings can keep it competitive. I think this one might come down to some late game fouling. We see that sometimes in the NBA, and I think this could be just one of those games where, Milwaukee up 2, Kings get to doing some late game fouling, kind of keep it within the number. Everybody's sweating it at the end, and we get like a 4 or 5 point Milwaukee win. Grab my points here with the Kings. Think they can continue playing some good basketball and keep it competitive here against the Milwaukee Bucks. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Indiana Pacers on the road facing the Minnesota Timberwolves. Minnesota home favorites laying 4.5, total 236.5. One of my least favorite games on the board tonight. Y'all know I'm not high on this Minnesota team. I've been telling y'all to fade them all season long. They've only won one of their last 5. They've been struggling since Karl Anthony Towns has been out. Even though they were struggling with him in there, they have a negative record, 11-12 on the season. I told y'all I was not high on this Timberwolves team. We were supposed to fade them a lot. Here tonight, though, I'm actually, since they've just been so awful, I think tonight is the night where we just kind of get on them and they get right spot for the Timberwolves and they beat on this Pacers team. The Pacers got some injuries. Turner looks like he's day-to-day questionable. Halliburton looks like he's day-to-day questionable. Although I don't think Halliburton plays, if I'm going to be honest. I do not think he plays in this one. T.J. McConnell day-to-day. James Johnson day-to-day. We know the injuries for the Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns still out. I mean, the Pacers haven't been all that great here recently either. This will be their, 6th straight road game as well for this Pacers team. I think it'd just be a terrible spot for them. Could be a get-right spot for the Timberwolves, so it's a lean there. Like I said, not my favorite game on the board, but if the Timberwolves are going to wake up, this should be a great spot for them to do it. So, a lean towards the Timberwolves laying the points. All right, in our next matchup, we got the Detroit Pistons on the road facing the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans home favorites laying 10, total 227. Hey, you're not going to find anybody other than a Pelicans fan that was higher on this Pelicans team coming into this season. I've been on them a lot this season, as y'all know if y'all been watching the jam session. And I'm going to lay the points again with them here tonight, here at home. Even though Brandon Ingram is still out, Zion Williamson is a go, CJ McCollum is a go. I think that's enough firepower right there, enough to take care of this Pistons team. I know this Pistons team has been playing some fairly decent basketball here recently. We had them last night against the Miami Heat, and they actually beat them outright. We had them plus the points in that one. They beat them outright. Here tonight, they're on a back-to-back. I think this is a terrible spot. Last night on the road against Miami. Now you got to fly to New Orleans and play a New Orleans team that goes crazy at home. A New Orleans team that's playing really good basketball here recently. They've ripped off 4 straight, and none of them have really been close, or at least the last 3. They beat on Denver at home 121-106. They beat up San Antonio on the road 117-99. They beat up on Toronto at home 126-108. They did beat Oklahoma at home 105-101. But that Oklahoma team is kind of scrappy. I don't think this Pistons team has it in them on a back-to-back. I think this one could get ugly and probably a wire-to-wire beatdown. I'll lay the points with the Pelicans here in this one. In our next matchup of the night, man, we got the Golden State Warriors on the road facing the Utah Jazz. Jazz home favorites laying 6, total 234. Now, when I was looking at this one, man, I was ready to lay the 6 without looking at the injury report or anything. We know how awful this Warriors team is on the road. We know how dominant the Jazz are at home. And just on that alone, I was ready to lay the 6 with Utah. And then I went and looked at the injury report. No Curry, no Wiggins, no Green, no Iguodala. Come on now, man. We're going to lay the 6 with the Utah Jazz. The Jazz have been dominant at home. The Warriors are awful on the road. This is a premium for me, premium for y'all. I'm laying this. I might lay extended on this one. This one could get ugly, in my opinion, for this Utah Jazz team. One of my favorite plays all season long, if I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I hope I'm not wrong. I really don't think that I'm wrong at all. Every metric in my mind tells me to lay the points with the Jazz, so that's just what I'm going to do. Like I said, Warriors god-awful on the road, missing all their top guys. We're only laying 6 with the Jazz team who's been dominated at home all season long. Am I missing something here? Or should this line be like 8, 9? I don't know. I'm laying the points, though, with the Jazz. Think they slaughter this Golden State team here at home. In our next matchup, man, and final game of the night, and arguably one of the best games of the night, we got the Boston Celtics on the road facing the Phoenix Suns. Boston actually road favorites, laying 1.5, total 231. To me, in this one, I know Boston has looked like the best team in the NBA. I know Phoenix just got took behind the shed in their last one, but if I'm just going to be honest, if I'm going to be 1,000% honest, having the Suns as a home underdog to me is just disrespectful. Give me the Suns on the money line. And I know I keep saying I'm tired of fading the Celtics, and I somehow just keep doing it, and I keep paying for it. I'm going to be 1,000 with y'all in this jam session now. I'm going to be 1,000. But tonight, bro, you cannot give me the Suns as a home underdog. Like, you just can't do that. You're tempting me, man, and I got to take it. Um, Chris Paul, questionable to come back in this one. I honestly kind of like the Suns better if he doesn't play. He hadn't played in, like a month. He's going to come and might throw off some of the roster chemistry they got going on the floor. But I don't know. If he goes or not, I'm still on the Suns. To me, it's just disrespectful to have them as a home underdog. I think this is a perfect bounce back spot for them after getting embarrassed by the Mavs on the road. That was just a bad spot for them in that one. I tried to tell y'all. I tried to warn y'all. They've been fairly decent, man. Won 3 of their last 5. They're 16-8 on the season. They play their best basketball at home. We know about the Celtics. I really don't got to tell y'all about them. They've been dominant. Look like the best team in the NBA, 20-5. But I don't know if they can just keep this up. Like, the pace that they're playing at, the way that they're playing, man, it's a tough style of basketball to win and win consistently for a duration of the season. That run and gun type style. I mean, hey, they did get to the finals last year, and they're my favorite to get back, man. It's going to be a hell of a series if we get it, Boston and Milwaukee in the conference finals. Here tonight, though, on the road, I got to take the Suns on the money line where they just dominate at home, play their best basketball, a get-right spot for them after getting embarrassed by the Mavs on the road in their last one. Give me the Suns on the money line. I can't wait to watch this one. Should be a good one, man. And that's going to conclude tonight's NBA Jam session on December 7th, 2022, man. Thank y'all for watching. Smash that like button for your boy, man. Subscribe if you're new. Drop your like down in the comments as well, man. Follow me on Twitter at ParlayGuyJ. That's where I will release the parlay of the day. We didn't release one yesterday. It was only 3 games. Really not enough room to release one. Although you could have parlayed all 3 of the plays on the jam session yesterday, man. We swept the board. You want to stay red hot in the NBA, man. Follow me on Twitter, like I said, for the parlay of the day. Also, that's where I can update y'all on any late injury news and if my mind changes due to any late information coming out of the association. If you're looking for my best bets tonight, the ones that I'm placing, as well as best bets from the top handicappers on the planet, check us out. Premium Picks tab, Pickdawgz.com. Best bets, that's where you'll find them. Link to my $15 NBA Jam Session plays in the description. That's my best bet in the NBA every night. We've hit 3 in a row on that one as well, man. So we're trying to stay red hot in the NBA, man. We've been seeing the board really well here recently. We just want to continue to stay hot. Like I said, man, again, thank y'all for watching, man. Smash those like buttons for me. Let's continue to make some money. Some spots to make some money tonight, man. So let's continue to do that. Let's try to stay red hot. Talk to y'all on Twitter. Talk to y'all down in the comments. I'll holler at y'all tomorrow. I'm out. Peace.